have always planned to have a wholesale nursery, and it was a challenge to consider doing this because of this Piedmont area and highly erodible soils. We don't have the luxury of the Eastern Shore and flat ground, and everything could be in straight rows, and you can put trees closer together, and you don't have the erosion and sediment runoff like you have down there, but here we do with the highly erodible soils. Hello, my name's Dave Thompson, and I am the owner of Foxborough Nursery along with my two sons, Brad and Andrew, and my wife, Marilyn. We started Foxborough Nursery in spring of 1978. My wife is the third generation on this farm, and the farm next to us, actually the Stewart farm, my grandson is the sixth generation on that farm. I thought I was only going to grow one type of plant, and I was only going to grow things in containers. But we started to, as we bought farms next to us, we started to expand into field production. I actually started my lawn care and little landscaping business when I was 11 years old in the early 60s. It just grew from there. The nursery is comprised of 4 farms. It's a little over 400 acres. But in actuality, only truly half of that is actually in plants. The other half of it is in waterways and grass strips in between the trees and roadways and things like that. We already have great BMP programs. We already do things to preserve our soil. We already try to limit our chemical applications and our fertilizer applications because cost. And so it's critical that as part of our planning for growing our crops, that soil conservation is involved with controlling runoff. We used to clean cultivate between the rows before we did grass strips. Over a period of time, we were just losing so much soil that was running off that it just made more sense to try to lay our rows out and put grass strips between the rows of blocks of rows where the machinery would go back and forth. But the last thing that we did was to put a small grass strip in between the actual rows, which are the plants are 6 feet apart. And that is a maintenance nightmare because we have to mow it, but still it controls the erosion. And over the years, soil conservation has helped us with areas of runoff and how we can control the runoff, and different ideas and new programs of cost shares that were incentives to work with the sediment control. We have a collection pond on the farm on Greer Nursery Road, and we'll go in there every so often and we'll dredge the pond, take the sediment out, and we stockpile it, and we take that sediment and we'll put it right back in the field where we remove the tree when we dig the tree balls. We have also, there's come up with programs for irrigation. All of our irrigation is drip. The only overhead irrigation that we do is for our containers. We have about 2 acres of propagation in containers, and that is strictly for starting all of our plants that go out in the field. We would not be able to really effectively produce a crop with the type of crop that we produce without having some type of conservation plan.